anyone who just watched X-Men 97 for the first time? Woo! I'm so jealous. Oh, that was so cool. I'm Jamie Jirak. I am your moderator today. I am the host of two Marvel podcasts, Phase Zero and Love in the Time of Hydra. I am the staff writer for comicbook.com, and I am so excited to be here today. But you're not here to see me. I know who you're here to see. Let's give it up for our awesome panel today. First, we have executive producer Brad Winderbaum, followed by supervising producer, give it up, supervising producer and head director Jake Castorena. And director Emmet Yonemura. Let's go!
Did everybody here just sit through 10 hours of X-Men 97? That's amazing. That's amazing. That sounds like what our job is like. Sitting in an edit bay watching hours and hours of this show.
Can't complain. Oh, I love it though. I did it last night for fun. No reason not to. It's so easy. Yeah. I thought we should start with a little icebreaker. I want to ask each of you who your favorite X-Men 97 character is. Mine's Beast, if you couldn't tell.
Oh, that's a good choice. It's so hard to. It's a good one. This is a good one. First time I heard George's voice, I was like, bro, tears to our eyes. He was like maybe one of our first actors.
Oh, he's so good, and it's just his voice. So like he just talks to you, and it's Beast talking to you.
I'm like, please read me a book.
Just narrate my life for me, please.
It's okay if it's the dictionary.
Yeah. You're the ingredients off of a bottle or something.
Yeah, exactly. I would, if I had to choose my favorite, gun to my head, I gotta go with Storm.
Yeah.
We got plans for her, by the way.
Nice!
I'm just gonna let you say that. So something I like to say a lot is like true like childhood to growth is like as a kid, love Wolverine, goes where he wants to go, all that stuff. But like as I get older and like being in leadership position and whatnot, you gotta give Cyclops a shout out, man. He's just trying to get everybody home alive. You know he's being a dick, like get on the jet, dude. But and also Storm.
Now I feel set up. Obviously Storm. No, my favorite is the same as growing up. I mean, I had a list, a short list, however, Morph. I love Morph.
We will be talking more about Morph today for sure. But I do want to start off with Brad. You have previously said that when you were pitching ideas to Kevin Feige, the first thing out of your mouth was revive X-Men the animated series. Do you remember what he said? What was his initial reaction?
He like most things I pitched to Kevin was like, get the hell out of my house. He got it immediately. Like he was like, can we do that? I was like, yeah. I had already done the work, like checking with the legal department and seeing, did the rights revert, like did Disney own it, like how much latitude do we have? And turns out we could do it. And so it was from that point on, it was like, I just pulled back the rubber band as tight as I could and just launched it.
It paid off. Big way.
I'm just getting on the fact that Kevin was like, we can do that.
He doesn't
Just
know
learn that
else.
right now.
You can do whatever you like, sir.
Jake and Emmy, I'm curious, what was your first entry into this? How did you start? How early in the process?
Oh, on 97?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, X-Men?
Well, when I was a child.
Yonder back. I was brought in, I want to say relatively early in the process, but not like super early, like the Bible and a lot of stuff, and the overall vision was sort of like, the Bible was more or less figured out. And that's kind of what made me really excited about being on board. It's like, y'all are doing it this way. I don't ever recommend this on an interview, but I could have shot myself in the foot. When we were talking, I was like, regardless if I'm a fan or I'm working on this as a person, I'm going to enjoy this. Because based on what you're doing in the Bible, So I was luckily able to come in and then like help, with searching for directors, getting to convince everyone to come on board, like please, and just helping with boards and just overall working on stuff. So yeah, it's been quite a journey.
So I know Jake brought you in. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I already had a mutual friend of ours who was already on the show.
Right.
So he put me up as well. And I was just rolling
That was
off
Morgan,
with
right?
general. Yeah,
Shout out to Morgan,
yeah, awesome board artist.
Yeah.
And so I came in for episode 3 because I think you guys had already started on episode 1.
Yeah, I was boarding and writing on episode 1 while helping staff up the show and figure out, sandbox parameters and whatnot. And we were able to get everything.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw that Goblin Queen script and I couldn't
What an episode
resist.
ago.
I know, I was
Right?
like, this is perfect.
Yeah, give it
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
The team did such a great job.
I also want to give a shout out to Dana Vasquez Everhart, who's here somewhere. Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. Dana runs animation for me at the studio. I could not do it without her. And and when it came time to build the show, she really brought in talent like Jake to really bring it home for us.
Real quick, just a segue. Just in case, if anybody is from the show who works on the show here, please just give a quick raise your hand or stand up. Everybody give them a shout out.
Thank you.
This isn't enough for three of us up here, but it really does take a village, and it's an insane thing, just how much it takes to get an episode done.
But we're all nerds, so it
Yeah.
actually is really easy and fun too.
Mhm.
So I can't complain.
Can't even read comic books.
I know, really, at the end of the day.
I think we all have jobs that we could be thankful for, I think. Brad, I want to bring up, you have said before that what you love about the original series is that it doesn't talk down to its audience. And this show absolutely doesn't do that either. And it also, though, it pushes the envelope even further. Is there anything that you couldn't use that was a little too dark?
I mean, I remember, the answer is there really wasn't. We went to the places we all wanted to go to. And, it's not that we wanted the show to be dark, but we wanted it to be moving and emotional for people. And when you're a kid watching the original animated series, when Morph dies in that second episode, it's a shock. Now we're 30 years later, a lot of the same people that were fans of that show as kids are watching it today. So it takes a little bit more to shock you, and that's where we had the idea to sadly kill Gambit, which I still remember that Zoom call very clearly.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm going to jump ahead then, because we're talking about it now to remember it. Give them all a congratulatory Emmy nominees! Beautiful episode. First, I'm curious, and the audience might be curious, about when you are submitting for Emmys, do you put all the episodes in, or did you choose, we want to give this one its spotlight?
I believe we chose.
Yeah, it was, the team was relatively involved in what we were going to submit, who we want to put up, and just the natural state of we want to lift up this person, we want to lift up them, or everybody was lifting somebody else up, not themselves. And so again, just a true testament to the team and we're just all nerds making fun stuff, man, that we want to see too. So
The episode is more than just the one where Gambit dies. It's such a beautiful episode. There's so much going on. Why do you think, Brad, why do you think it resonates with people?
Well, it delivers on the soap opera aspect of the series really well. That's the episode where all by design, all of the conflict about Gene and Scott, Rogue and Magneto, Gambit, it all starts to come to fruition. It's also the introduction of Kurt back into the series, and it pays off all this drama before the surprise attack, and when Gambit does make that ultimate sacrifice, and all that that entire battle sequence plays out, it's imbued with all the character drama leading up to it, so all the emotions heighten. you know why he does what he does.
Absolutely. I mean, as the director, what was most important to you for that episode?
Well, I'm an emotional vampire, like Colin Robinson, so I just need to be able to feast by the end of it. But no, I mean, I knew we were telling an important story because there is tragedy in the real world. There's genocides that are happening right now. And that's the beauty of X-Men, is you can put a spotlight on it so that people can relate. And for me, as that kid who was watching it in the 90s, have heroes to kind of look to for comfort, but maybe also a bit of a guiding light. Like, I 100% get by Rogue and her anger. You know, I think that's a completely natural response to what's going on. And I think that for me, I just wanted to be able to get those real emotions out there because it's what people are going through now. And to just be able to look to our heroes a little bit. So, I'm really proud. I'm really proud of what the entire team was able to put together, and then also just really relieved that an audience did relate to it and did kind of reflect, and it's become what it is. And I heard somebody tell me it's the year of Gambit.
Yes. Yeah, it sure is.
I think that's amazing. I mean, Gambit deserves it. We've been waiting for Gambit for so long. And I mean, that Channing Tatum.
Spoilers.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
If they're here, they've seen it.
I see that Wolverine in this.
Well, just to back off what Evan was saying too, like I really want to give a special shout out to Emmet and the team, because when we were reading the script, it was like, okay, cool, we're gonna create all this stuff and blow it up, and you have to feel something in the same episode. Like, that's hard to do, and especially on this level. And just so the amount of ideas and brainstorming and just, you know, stuff to honor the intention of the script that Emmet brought to that. One was just, you know, civilization just thriving, right? Having children present. It's the most simple thing that never gets said in the entire episode, but you feel it. And you know, and just just one of the main things like I want to bring out. So subtle things that you miss that we do in the storytelling, in the visual medium, that makes something like this, you know, episode 5 hurt a little bit more and make Emmet float from your tears.
Sorry. Talk about more of the visual medium. The original show, it looks great, but obviously a lot of time has passed. Animation's different now, and I think you did a beautiful job of having that classic look still there, but a million times better somehow. And I don't know how animation really works in that way. Can you explain a little bit how you married the two together?
Magic.
Amelia.
Yeah.
It's all Amelia.
Yeah, it's Amelia, we just push buttons.
And Anthony Wu, our director, I mean, it's hiring really talented people and trusting them to do their jobs, but they just bring so much to it, especially when you are hiring fans, because everybody has such an attachment to the characters and the environments that they really bring their all. And we've got beautiful comics to reference. I mean, we've got 60 years of genius work, so really it's just kind of like we get to open the toy box and play with everybody else.
And you know, when, on top of that, like when we're, again, absolute shout out to our team to answer your question. The reality is it involves us sitting on a couch in a room, in a dark room, looking at a TV for hours, going frame by frame by frame by frame, making sure things work, filters work, camera shakes, all of that good stuff, etc. But when we're doing a revival, not a reboot, we already kind of have, like I keep saying, sandbox parameters. So we already kind of know where not to go, because the minute you change any of that sort of, you know, important DNA into the OG show, when you change or alter that in a little bit of a way, you go outside of the sandbox parameters, it's no longer that show, it's no longer that feeling. So being told or just having where not to go really helps.
So you know, you work closely with Larry Houston, who was one of the OG directors, to help find those parameters.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. Like, again, you know, going back to just, man, Marvel's doing it right. They want to do it justice. Like, off the jump, it was also, by the way, we got to get Eric and Julia and Larry involved. And temp check. If we have their blessing, we will have the blessing, of the fandom. And so yeah, again, work with Larry. And again, shout out to Larry and Emmet and Chase Conley, our other episodic director. Larry came back in and Larry came back in and did the main titles, and just we used his stuff, like unused stuff. It was pretty cool.
It was amazing, and talk about some of the nicest people you could ever meet. So it really felt like we were in not only good hands, but we were trying to impress like mom and dad and uncle.
Eric and Julia should adopt America.
You said my next question perfectly, which is with them coming in, did they have any advice for you that stands out?
The sinister advice from Larry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
I don't know if you want.
No, go for it.
So Mr. Sinister appears in the shadows, really creepy, kind of jerk, cool character. Has a lot of design on him. Got them peacocky cake. Like I respect that. Like he's like, I'm here, but also that's fish anime. So, and I'm talking about now. I can't imagine back then. And so, what Larry figured out was, we could just lean into the shadows, coming in and out of shadows, in and out of shadows. We never have to see Sinister walk, because that would kill our animators. But he just appears, which leads into the character being more sinister, pun intended. Fast forward, that's how we recognize Sinister. That's in the DNA of making Sinister a bad hombre, right? Like coming in out of nowhere. Larry's like, just don't have him walk in place. Like, we're gonna do the same. And the minute we started doing that, treating him in the shadows and all that stuff, it's like, there it is. And it's stuff you would think like, right, but they did it out of necessity. We do it out of, honoring the original show.
Yeah. And it's so easy with a horror episode because you're like, what? Having a character come in and out of shadows like a vampire? Alright, whatever, that's
We're gonna have
easy.
to track them.
Yeah, it was so much fun because then as we work with it in the storyboards with our artists, it's really easy. I'll usually recommend to our artists that we do a lighting pass so you can really see the mood and get to the environment. And I'll be like, no, this is great, but let's throw in a lot of shadows. And what's a lot of fun about what the original series does and what we do is we actually have black in there. A lot of animation will avoid it. It can look clunky, but it's almost iconic in comics to have that and to have those stark shadows. So for us, it was actually really fun then to get to be able to do that in animation.
Episode 3 keeps coming up, and that's my favorite episode.
Yeah.
It's peak melodrama. It's creepy. I think Mr. Sinister's an attractive villain. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm up here. I'm gonna tell my truth. To me, that's the most fun.
I'm curious and also terrified.
It's a vampire thing. I get it. That to me, that looks like the most fun. For each of you, what was the most fun for you?
The most fun in that episode or in the series?
No, the whole series. The whole series.
Wow. The most fun. Man, honestly, the most fun, I'll say the most fun for me, was there was a lot of conversations around the opening type of sequence. And we knew that we were going to try to go one-to-one. We brought in Larry, like Jade said, to actually direct the title sequence for the 497, for the revival. And probably one of the smartest things we did in the release of the show was not to show any of that opening title sequence in the marketing. So the first time that opening title sequence was seen by the public was when it premiered on Disney+. So collectively, the whole fandom had that same emotion in that same moment.
Did you guys freak out? Yeah. I know I did the first time I saw it.
I freaked out too. I mean, when you grow up with the show, I think that's like the one thing we all checked when we started was we're gonna have the opening song, right? You can't not do it without that song.
Medic from day one.
Yeah, that was one of the things Kevin said when I pitched the idea. He was like, we have music. We actually didn't have music at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that process like? Did you have to really fight for it?
Luckily I was like, our amazing team at our legal team in business affairs at Disney.
So the Newton brothers came in and kind of zhuzhed it up a little, right?
Oh, they're geniuses.
Please give a shout out.
Yeah.
They're not brothers. Complete lie. Yeah, they're not Newtons. I was like, how are you guys selling? You guys any musicians?
They are doing music for Joe Recording Man. So.
Their work on X-Men 97 made them the front runners for Daryl Born Again. And let me tell you something, that score is unbelievable. Wait till you guys hear it. It is always fun.
And did you have the most fun answer?
Oh, honestly, my favorite moment is watching Chase's work. I actually loved episode 8, that Nightcrawler and Wolverine fight. Yeah, that was like peak fandom for me, and just beautiful only did like near kill it, but then our internal team also, because we have animators in our studio as well who just really help like add those nuances. And then just watching that play, and also just the Rich Summers drama in there, but just seeing Chase work too, he's a mad genius. I wish he could have been here to talk to you guys as well, but he's truly spectacular. So that's some of my favorite memories are actually just kind of watching and studying him. Did you answer?
You're here. I don't know if I did. Yeah, but one, like, Chase deserves all the flowers that come his way. Both of our directors do, and y'all handle a lot. I think, I don't know, just have a few. One, getting to have Rogue make Bastion eat some floor after a season of grief, right? But not just making it an action beat per se, just, another action beat, but to really be able to go, oh no, she's you ever been so mad at Emmet, you punched Emmet through the floor? That's what she's doing, but she's also crying while being strong, while like just still moving forward. She's showing emotion while still moving forward, and just wanted to be able to just to have an idea to show and a studio that's like, oh no, we want more nuance and level of storytelling and the action. So it's like, cool. So just getting to do little beats like that throughout. And then a personal favorite was one Skywalker Sound that does our sound design for Skywalker Sound. That's so cool. But getting to work with Skywalker and give a note that said, "Please Star Wars the hell out of it."
Beautiful. We have to talk about the cast. This cast. So many of them came back. It's really beautiful. And interestingly, we have some people in here who are back, but as new characters. So how did that kind of happen?
Well, we tried to bring back as many original cast members as we could, and I think we brought back almost everyone. But it's 30 years. 30 years is a long time, and people's voices change. But it was important to us that even if someone, even if their voice wasn't right for the same role, that they would be in the show, because we just wanted that cast back, we wanted that magic back, we wanted that ensemble back. So even when they play different parts, it actually those parts come to life. Val Cooper is
yeah, Catherine slays as Val Cooper, man, and she's so happy to play it too. Just again from the get go, it was those who are still with us and have that vocal integrity, because time is fickle, it gets all of us. We brought back to play in the sandbox, and those who couldn't, we still brought them back to play prominent roles, whether it's a one-off or a continuous role, to be in the sandbox. And it's again, we're all nerds and fans of this stuff too, and it's really cool that the boss of the boss is as much of a nerd as us over here. It's we can talk comics.
My bosses are nerds too.
I know, it's pretty cool.
It's a Karen nerd.
That's so good. That's why it works. Speaking of nerds, I think that everyone's always looking for the Easter eggs, right? There's so much in here. Little hidden details. We're in a comic book. That's what we do. We scan for everything. Is there anything hidden that people haven't noticed yet?
Actually, I think so.
Yeah, I did talk about one on Monday that I don't know if people have put out there publicly, but Iceman is in Genosha in episode 5.
What is Bobby doing, Emmet, in Genosha 105?
He's making ice cream for the kids.
Of course he
That
is.
is a Bobby cameo.
Super subtle, there's no label on him, and he's even wearing a little ice cream hat on top of his brown hair, but it's just one of those super subtle details that I think that's what's so great about our entire crew is I'll have ideas, and then our character team will have ideas, all the way up to assistants, they'll have ideas of what if we put in this date from this comic book at this issue release, and that's the kind of stuff that I live for, and I love that it's coming from everybody on the team.
Shout out to Frank.
Oh, right, Frank's one of our character guys, and he helps.
Character production. Works in production. Not even an artist. Supreme nerd. I'm hey, Frank, we got some options for characters doing, and I need 3. Here's 10. Nice.
And here's what they do.
Yeah, and here's what they do, and here's good. And it was all just ready to go. Why? Because it was on my computer. I love you, Frank.
It's all actually in his head.
It's all in his
It's amazing, because when trying to figure out who do we want the kids to be in Genosha, he was like, so there's this pink guy named Glob, and I'm like, love him. I love Glob so much. I could just watch a whole series of Glow.
In Glob we trust.
Yes.
We kind of have this special bias for Glob all the
We
time.
love Glow.
Just wait.
Great segue into my next question. Because Brad, I don't want to scare you, but I feel like these people have been here all day and they deserve like a little tease, season 2. And was anyone here at D23 last weekend? Yes, we did see a little bit on the screen. Polaris was gonna be there, my girl.
Polaris is in.
Florida fans? Any Florida fans?
Right,
Well,
but she's like talking. Is there anything, can you give us a little tease? Anything good?
Well, if you're fans of the comics, you know what teams she's been on, so you can kind of put those pieces together.
Just say
Say it.
Jake, say it.
So we can blame you.
Don't say it.
Okay, I won't say it.
I mean, come on.
Well, there's as many people in this audience probably aware, there's many teams that have in Marvel that have the letter X at the front, followed by a hyphen.
Yeah.
It also used to be like a reality show that had a similar name to one
Some of those characters are in. So I would put it like this. There's 2 other X teams in season 2.
That's a pretty good answer.
It is good. We couldn't make it easy for our character design team, let's say that.
All I want is Scarlet Witch. I'm just gonna put that out there. Everyone was talking about the Spider-Man cameo in the final episode because you gave people some closure from Spider-Man the animated series. And as my stepdad would say, you give them an inch and they take a mile, because now they want Spider-Man 98. But we've got your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man coming. Could we get 19, or are we muddying the waters? Too much Spider-Man.
I think the 90s are, I think X-Men 97 owns the 90s. So the 90s continuity is in that show. Whether or not Spider-Man or other characters from that era could appear in X-Men 97, I would say the likelihood is probably high. But Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I think it carries on a long legacy of different artists and animators taking on Spider-Man. I mean, there was at least 2 great Spider-Man cartoons after the original 90s show, and there was Spider-Man before that. So it is kind of like, I think, a direct line to in a legacy of passing the Spider-Man baton. And Jeff Trammell, who's the showrunner on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, is an absolute genius, and I can't wait for people to see that show.
You guys, it looks amazing. The D23 footage, insane. Put it on your calendar. It's going to be a fantastic. I always like to ask in these things, are there any unsung heroes that you don't normally get to shout out that worked on X-Men 97 that you want to shout out?
Every single person on there.
I was gonna say just read the credits, I'm serious, because I think I've been on a lot of shows, but this is one of the first times where I feel like, I'm not to say that nobody's ever been crucial, but this team, it really is. Every single member is crucial. Like, we talk about it, but like, I can't do this without that person. They're just an assistant, but you don't understand. They keep me sane, or they know these characters, or they copy on this, or they're contributing because they're positive, and it's just one of those things where I even get mad at my husband when he's like, oh, episode's over, I'm gonna turn it off. And I'm like, just credits. Watch the credits. Like, truly everybody. So I could go on, honestly, if you want me to just pull it up and read everything.
Pull up IMDb. You all have that on your phone.
I mean, yeah, quick special shout out though to most, our leads, Anthony Wu, Ashley Herbert Phillips, Chris Raff, Jeremy Bogart, that's comp team, production design, character animation, retake animation, effects animation, edit.
Sean
Gaga.
Yeah, round of applause for Sean Gaga.
Sean Eugene, he's the whole reason why the shark keeps moving and people get paid and things get done.
He's our beast.
Yeah, he is our beast. No, really, Sean does the beast and the Xavier scratch from movie animatics, and it's perfect.
And a super fan. And I will say, every single person on this crew had so much passion and respect for these characters and knew them inside and out. I don't think you can make a show like X-Men 97 without that, without everybody not just rowing in the same direction, but really truly loving it very deeply.
That's a beautiful place to end. That's so great. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to your